Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of War Machines. So last time, we saw the debut of 12 more robots who all look to provide a first impression to show that they have what it takes to win the whole thing. As of this episode, we are now down to 8 of those 12 robots. These 8 robots are going to fight it out bracket style for a spot in the grand final, where the robots win 3 matches tonight will be awarded that spot. We saw a lot of potential in the last episode out of several of these 8 robots, so getting to that grand final spot is definitely going to be no easy feat. So I think we should go ahead and quick review the bracket before we get to the fun. And here is tonight's bracket. So on the left side we got a couple battles of offense versus defense, with Sosig and Duck clashing it out at that top spot, and then right down below we get Stinger and Triton. Both of those matchups should be fun to watch. Then on the right side, we got a BattleBots rematch between Madcap, Catter, and Claw Viper. As well as right down below, we have another BattleBots contenders featuring Hijinks and Deep Six, 2 massive spinners. So there are a lot of fights here that are sure to be fun to watch, as well as some matchups I hope we get in future rounds. But we'll have to see how this bracket plays out. Several of these robots look very good in their opening round matchup, so definitely winning 3 fights is not going to be very easy, as I said earlier in this video. So I think we should go ahead and start talking about our first matchup and get to all the fun of tonight. So for our first match of the evening, we have Deep Six, who is going to be taking on Hijinks, 2 massive spinners. Both bots looked very good in their first match, where Deep Six, with that new design, pummeled Balespear over and over again to get that victory, while on the other hand, Hijinks, in their first ever fight in War Machines, got a brutal knockout over Duck, showing that that robot is definitely not a slouch either. So we got 2 massive spinners here, one vertical, one horizontal. Both have proven that they are very much capable of delivering some massive blows to their opponents and dishing out a crazy amount of damage. So I'm very excited to see what a weapon-on-weapon exchange is going to look like between these 2 robots, because I have a good feeling that we are going to get a lot of weapon-on-weapon action in this match. So I'm very excited for this match, because I always love a good spinner-on-spinner battle, including between a vertical and a horizontal spinner. I imagine what this fight's going to really come down to is which robot can hold up better to the shots. We have 2 large spinners coming into the arena, so I imagine if we see some weapon-on-weapon action, one of these weapons is probably going to break. So I think whoever gets those shots, gets those kill shots in first, is probably going to be one to come out on top, and that could come down to who can win these first couple exchanges. Regardless, I am excited for this one. I think this should be a great one to lead off the night. Let's go ahead and get to this fight. Time for this match to begin. Deep Six, the aggressor, and a huge weapon-on-weapon shot that sends Hijinks back. Deep Six now pummeling Hijinks right in the corner right now. Some big shots to start it out. I already see a piece of Hijinks like they lost a weapon to. What about Deep Six though? Deep Six looks to have lost a piece of their weapon as well. But then Hijinks seems to be a little more stable right now between these 2 bots. Deep Six has turned off the weapon. That is a big chunk of that bar that was ripped off right there, and it is providing Deep Six with some major balance problems. So right now, Deep Six trying to box rush Hijinks. Looks like Hijinks having some control problems of their own. Looks like they lost some weapon teeth in those first few exchanges, and that's certainly leaving a mark on their weapons potential. More pieces of Deep Six's spinner are starting to break off. This is definitely not the start Deep Six is wanting. And more bits, looks like some of the thwangers on Deep Six on that front have been ripped off too, thanks to Hijinks' spinner. Deep Six, while their weapon is a lot smaller than how it started when it entered the arena, they are certainly doing a good job at being the aggressor, providing a bit more control. Not what you'd expect from Deep Six, a robot that's known for causing so much damage, but it's their best option right now. Oh, so right now, Deep Six probably needs to avoid getting flipped over, because I don't know if they're going to be able to self-right. They usually do so thanks to that vertical spinner, but now that thing is tiny, thanks to all the damage that has happened in the first minute and a half here. A little over a minute to go here. Hard to tell who's on top right now, but I think Deep Six is definitely taking the brunt of the damage so far. Deep Six is right now stuck, but Hijinks lends a hand going for some of those wheels, trying to rip off the last bits of that spinner. Hijinks trying to finish the job, get the KO. How durable is Hijinks? They were able to take those first couple shots well. Well, that's going to do it right there. It was an excellent start for Deep Six, showing that they have the advantage going weapon on weapon. But, well, it looked that way at least, because it wasn't long after that where those shots really took their toll. As we saw a weapon on weapon shots such as these right there. We saw a piece of Deep Six's spinner broke, leaving Deep Six with some major stability problems that hindered them for the rest of this match, and gave Hijinks pretty much the momentum for the majority of the rest of the match, and left Deep Six more so as a control bot. Hijinks' spinner definitely took some damage itself in those first couple exchanges, but they were able to keep that stability under control and be able to continue delivering some damaging blows to get the KO. Hijinks, great win. We'll see who they draw next, but this is not a robot to slouch on, that is for sure. So for our next match, we have another battle of BattleBots contenders. We have Stinger and Triton. So Stinger proved to be a pretty effective control bot, as I think we all expected, and was able to use that to their advantage to control the match against Flaming Wheel for a pretty good at first victory. And on the other side, we got Triton with that horizontal spinner new to War Machines. We haven't really gotten a good look at Triton yet. While it did win that first match with Violent Dragon, they were up against Violent Dragon. I think a lot of us were probably expecting they were going to win that one. So I don't think we've really gotten a good look at Triton so far. It'll be interesting to see how Triton does against a bigger opponent such as Stinger, and one that has done really well against horizontal spinners during their time at BattleBots. So I think this will be a great test for Triton to see whether this robot is the real deal or not. So yeah, Stinger is definitely going to be looking to use that wedge to absorb the impacts from that horizontal spinner, box rush that robot, and simply just control the match as much of it as possible while taking as little damage as possible. While Triton, on the other hand, just cause as much damage as possible. That's Triton's path to victory, in my opinion, in this one. Maybe go after some of those exposed wheels as well. So yeah, I always love a good battle between a thick wedge like Stinger and a horizontal spinner. Stinger and Warhead was one of my favorite matchups in the 2015 season of BattleBots. So that makes me really excited for this one. I think we're in for another real treat, and I think we should go ahead and get to this fight. Time for this match to begin. Here comes Stinger charging right out of the gate, and Triton inverted already. Stinger looking to take the brunt of those shots onto that wedge, which is definitely the strongest part of that robot, while Triton's going to be hoping to breach it or get to some of those exposed sides, those exposed wheels. But Stinger is now flipped over right now. One thing that we did notice in Stinger's match with Flaming Wheel is that robot does not self-right very easily. So yeah, that could also be a big advantage point for Triton here. Triton trying to attack some of those exposed wheels. They got a good hit right there. A couple more good shots to the exposed areas on Stinger, but no real damage to start. No real damage during that part. Stinger is now right side up and coming in for more. And it looks like Triton laying some more shots right in that wedge and now being knocked off balance. This is where Stinger really needs to take advantage. I see a couple pieces around the arena. I think they're probably parts of Stinger's wedge. Another piece right there of Stinger's wedge. Stinger flipped over once again, and now they have self-ridden right there. That is where they need to be. So, yeah, charging in there again is Stinger, getting a couple good lifts. I'm not sure how much the lifter is really helping them exactly by using it. I think they have a much better chance if they just keep the lifter down like that and let Triton use the kinetic energy of that horizontal spinner against itself in this one. I think that could be big for Stinger. Here goes a huge chunk of that wedge. Triton's starting to do some major damage. I think those shots are really taking their toll because Stinger just lost a wheel as well. Some huge damage caused by Triton in the second half of this match. As Stinger was probably on top for the most part in that first half of the match, but Triton is really starting to take over. That damage is just really stacking up on that robot right now. How much can Stinger really handle right now? A couple more nice shots from Triton. Was looking to try to get the job done, get a couple more death blows on Stinger. There goes the rest of that wedge, and there goes another wheel. Major damage being caused by Triton, and Stinger is on control board damage. Triton could be close to finishing the job here. Can they get it done in these last 30 seconds? Stinger, not sure what they're doing right now, but they took another shot, leaving them closer to control board. Is Triton gonna do it? Spinning around in circles, celebrating right now. 20 seconds left to go in this match, and that's gonna do it right there. Triton KO. So right off the bat, Stinger, I think, had the right idea in terms of their strategy here. Use that wedge to control the match and absorb as many shots as possible, but eventually that wedge just did not hold up well. And they also got inverted a couple times, a couple key driving errors by Stinger that left them vulnerable. But it was these shots that took off the wheels, took off chunks of the wedge that I think really costed Stinger, showing that Triton's horizontal spinner is absolutely a major threat and the real deal that I think a lot of us were hoping to see in this match. So, great victory by Triton. We'll see who they draw next between Duck and Sosig, which I believe that match is actually next. So, impressive win by Triton here. Great match. Let's move on. So, as I said earlier, Duck and Sosig is up next. Battle between was probably the 1 and the 8 seed in this bracket. On the left side, we have Duck, who had to go through the redemption round after a loss to Hijinks, but then really pulled through in that battle with Violent Dragon and Baled Spear. Won that one by a judge's decision in order to get to this point. But now they have what is probably one of the most brutal attackers, and probably one of the main contenders for most destructive bot in the recent season. So, yeah, Duck definitely has a big task ahead of them here. Then on the right side, we got Sosig, a former top 8 contender in War Machines, and definitely really took it to Claw Viper to show that they still have what it takes to make it far in the tournament, and potentially go a few steps further, as they were able to dismantle Claw Viper in the first minute of that fight. So, yeah. Sosig will probably be looking for another knockout, another quick knockout, nonetheless. While on the other hand, Duck will be looking to try to use that lifter, try to out-wedge Sosig, try to avoid that vertical spinner as much as possible, and through that lifter and all that stuff, be able to control the match and try to keep that vertical spinner off of them as much as possible. But of course, though, Duck could always go with the strategy of your fist, my face, and try to break the vertical spinner. But we'll have to see how something like that goes. So, I'm excited for this match. We have another awesome battle of offense versus defense. So I think we should get to this fight and determine who will be taking on Triton in the next round. Time for this fight to begin. Both bots me in the middle. Duck with a little maneuverability game, little driver's game here. Both bots going head on to here. Risky strategy for Duck if they want to try to avoid that vertical spinner, unless if they're trying to break it. Nice lift there by Duck though. Showing that they may have the superior wedge game, but they still got to watch out for that vertical spinner here. Couple good lifts from Duck, that's for sure. A good start to this fight so far. So, both bots trying to get an edge on each other now. A little bit of a stalemate right here. And big hit by Sosig. And another shot. And a control board by Sosig. So, Duck's strategy seemed early on to be try to avoid that vertical spinner as much as possible. Because that right there is why. Another quick KO by the former top 8 robot, showing that that robot still has a destructive power it was very well known for last season, and definitely those early shots right there that delivered them the quick KO pretty much should prove that exact point. How do you take down this robot? So this robot's just continuing its path of destruction. Definitely it's not going to be easy, and Triton has a very difficult opponent ahead of them. So for our last match of the first round of this semifinal, we have a rematch from BattleBots, a fight that's happened twice at BattleBots nonetheless. We have Claw Viper and Mad Catter. So Claw Viper was the other robot who had to go through the redemption round and managed to make it to the semifinal point after that loss to Sosig in the first round, but then looked very good in that match with Sprocket Raccoon and Flaming Wheel, showing that they absolutely earned that spot into the semifinal. So their opponent is Mad Catter, that vertical spinner, who did very well and delivered a pretty quick and dominant KO against Sprocket Raccoon. So definitely this one, Claw Viper is probably going to be trying to use that grappler to get Mad Catter upside down off balance and try to avoid as many of those vertical spinner shots as they can and try to, prevent Mad Catter from doing as much damage as possible so where they can effectively control the match. While Claw Viper is just going to be trying to do just that, trying to get in some big shots with that vertical spinner to upend Claw Viper, reduce their mobility, maybe take apart that grappler, whatever Claw Viper can do to give them the upper hand in this fight. So yeah, this is a rematch from BattleBots. We've gotten a couple fun fights between these two robots, so I'm looking forward to this one. We'll have to see if this match goes the same way they did at BattleBots. So yeah, let's go ahead and find out, and let's go ahead and get to this fight. Time for this match to begin. Both bots be in the middle, and it's Mad Catter who gets flipped over to start this match out. But then that fork right in the front of Mad Catter helps himself right. Nice flip by Claw Viper, showing they seem to have the ground game advantages so far in this one. Mad Catter looking to try to get a couple good shots in with that vertical spinner, looking to work the angles, and they were successfully able to do it right there. Got underneath Claw Viper and landed an array of shots with that vertical spinner, and Claw Viper sure felt that one, that's for sure. So now a lift right there, and they take Mad Catter to Suplex City. Luckily they've self-ridden pretty nicely there. He got a nice lift, but now Claw Viper taking an array of shots from Mad Catter again, shot after shot. And there we go. So I still remember Mad Catter the past two seasons coming in with that hammer design, but then they came in this season with a new vertical spinner design for this season of War Machines, and that redesign sure is paying off for them here in this Robot Arena 2 series. It was a great start by Claw Viper, getting in some amazing lifts and even a suplex, but then it was Mad Catter showing that damage was critical in this one. We're able to work the angles, which allowed them to deliver some massive shots to the frame of Claw Viper, and Claw Viper sure was feeling those blows, and it helped Mad Catter deliver the KO it wanted and punch its ticket to the next round. Now to review the bracket. So we got 4 heavy hitters in the final 4 here. On the left side, we'll have a battle between Sosig and Triton, and on the right side, we got Mad Catter and Hijinks for the final 4 of this thing. We got quite a few excellent matchups on the way. I'm certainly excited for all of this, and I think we should go ahead and start talking about the first match of the top 4. So for our first match of the top 4, we have Sosig and Triton. So Sosig has been on just a giant path of destruction. 2 quick KOs over Claw Viper and Duck to start the season, and now they set their sights next on Triton. So Triton definitely didn't have a victory against a pretty easy opponent in Violent Dragon to start the season out, but then really made up for it with that knockout over Stinger in the last round. And now they now they're up against a big spinner in Sosig. So these are the first spinners that both of these robots are fighting this season, and they've both proven that they are very capable of destructive power and disabling the other opponents. So I have high doubts that this fight is going to go the full 3 minutes. So I imagine we're probably going to see a lot of weapon-on-weapon action. Both robots are probably going to be trying to aim for the wheels of the other one, and I think it should be an exciting match. So, yeah, really excited for this one. This is just going to come down to, I think, who can outdrive the other better, get to those vulnerable spots first, and who can avoid taking a huge amount of damage that their opponent is very capable of dishing out. So I think this should be another fun fight. Great way to start the Final Four. And I think let's go ahead and get to this battle. Time for this match to begin. Sosig with a box rush charging right in there. Some weapon-on-weapon action. Already seeing some pieces flying. Looks like they're primarily pieces of Triton. And there goes a big chunk of Triton spinner. Sosig is clearly winning these weapon-on-weapon exchanges, has already done a huge amount of damage to Triton. See that Triton lost a wheel, so they might have lost drive on one side. Now more bits of that weapon are flying off. Quite a few of the axles holding that weapon in place have been destroyed. Sosig all in on the offense here, just ripping apart Triton to start this match out. Not even a minute into this fight, and Triton is at Sosig's mercy. And that's going to do it right there. Another quick KO for Sosig. I think if this robot wasn't already one of your favorites to potentially win the whole thing, I think it might now be after this. Like, geez, 3 fights, 3 knockouts. They got in there very quickly and showed that they absolutely have the more durable robot coming into this, and was just dishing out damage right from the start of this match. Ripped apart that horizontal spinner, got to some of the wheels, got to the juicy internals, and that was all it really took for Sosig to be able to get another quick KO here. Three robots they've taken it on so far, 3 robots down. This robot definitely going to be on a major collision course for the title. They made the top 8 last season, and definitely showing they are definitely capable of being able to make it a little bit further. But to figure out who will be joining them in tonight's final, we have the other Final Four match, where we have Hijinks and Mad Catter, 2 fellow BattleBots contenders. So both of them have been on a major collision course so far. 2 fights between them, 2 KOs each, and now they take on each other. So on the left side we got Hijinks with that undercutter, who's been able to provide some brutal KOs to both Duck and Deep Six, while Mad Catter, their 3rd season in War Machines, going 0-2 the previous couple seasons, they're 2-0 so far this season, with knockouts over Sprocket Raccoon and Claw Viper. And now these 2 are going to take on each other. So yeah, I imagine this is probably going to be similar to the last fight right there. Both of these robots have some vulnerabilities within the other, because we have Hijinks with those exposed wheels. Mad Catter has some pretty delicate components within the front and those sides that Hijinks is surely going to be trying to target. And so I think this is just going to be another driving war, like the last match was, to figure out who can get to those vulnerabilities first between the 2 of them, and who can hold up to the other's attacks better. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this match, so I think we should go ahead and get to this fight. Time for this match to begin. Mad Catter definitely the aggressor coming out. Hijinks with the first shot. Now we got some weapon-on-weapon action between these 2 bots. Huge hit that inverted both bots, but Mad Catter self-rights. So now Hijinks off balance right now. I think they lost part of one of their weapon teeth early on in this match. So definitely something to watch out for. Huge hit that reinverts Mad Catter once again. Mad Catter trying to self-right, and Hijinks lands a shot of their own. Lots of action from both bots, both spinners early on in this fight. And Mad Catter, huge opportunity, they get a wheel. Hijinks has lost a tire. That is a huge moment right there, and a big shot from Mad Catter right there that sends Hijinks who knows how many feet in the air. And another big shot by Mad Catter. Mad Catter, I think, is definitely tipping the fight in their favor with those last couple shots and that lost wheel on Hijinks. That was big for Mad Catter. Another nice shot, another couple of good shots from Mad Catter, showing they're absolutely taking it to Hijinks here in this one. So now here we go. Once again, some more weapon-on-weapon action. Mad Catter still has to be careful of that weapon. Even though it is off balance right now, it is absolutely still lethal and still a major force to watch out for. Big chunk of that bar just came off there, though. So now Hijinks really dealing with some balance problems now, but they're still hanging in there and still swinging at Mad Catter. Mad Catter's still going at it like no fear here right now. They are taking those hits very well. So that's going to do it for that one. Hijinks definitely was able to provide quite a few big shots here, but Mad Catter was able to take them like a pro. We saw lots of weapon-on-weapon action to start it off. Some of it won by Mad Catter, some of it won by Hijinks. This was certainly an awesome fight to watch for sure between two big spinners. This hit right there, I think, was the big turning point of the match. Mad Catter saw an opening and struck a wheel on Hijinks, leaving them with half their drive for the rest of the match and an unbalanced spinner. A couple huge shots from Mad Catter here and there, and a lot more weapon-on-weapon action too. Mad Catter proved they absolutely had the defenses to take those shots from Hijinks' spinner, and proved that very well. It was them on the attack for most of the fight, and then they were eventually able to deliver the knockout blow. Great win by Mad Catter, and we'll see them in the final, where they will take on Sosig for a fight in the grand final. We got a battle between two terrifying vertical spinners who have both been on an absolute killing spree so far during their time at War Machines. But before we get to that one though, we have a third place match to do between Triton and Hijinks. I think we should go ahead and start talking about that match. So for our third place match of this semifinal, we have a horizontal spinner battle between two horizontal spinners coming from BattleBots. We have Hijinks and Triton, both robots in their first season at War Machines. Started the season off with two pretty devastating KOs, but then didn't fare so well against their vertical spinner opponents in Sosig and Mad Catter. So yeah, so now these two robots, they're going to fight for a spot in the last chance episode. Or at least a confirmed spot, because whoever wins this match will for sure have a spot in the last chance episodes. And whoever doesn't win this match, well, they're not confirmed to be out yet. They'll have to show that they had what it takes to win, to be one of the top 50% of the robots who got 4th place, and be able to earn a spot into that last chance section. So yeah, more info will be coming later, as I've said before in previous episodes. So yeah, talking more about this match, we have two pretty similar designs between these two robots, because we got similar strengths, similar weaknesses, and so on. We got two pretty nasty horizontal spinners. They both have some exposed wheels, some exposed components, and both horizontal spinners got tore up pretty badly in their previous match. So I'm predicting we're going to see quite a lot of weapon-on-weapon action. I think Triton has a little more reach than Hijinks does, and that's probably going to be something they're going to take into consideration. While Hijinks, maybe we'll see some action from that tail to try to slow down that horizontal spinner of Triton, but I imagine these two probably have a similar strategy. Cause as much destruction as possible onto their opponents before their opponent can destroy them. So yeah, I think this should be an awesome way to settle this third place match. I think that's probably what we're going to get here. So I think let's go ahead and get right to this showdown. Time for this match to begin. Triton, slow start for Hijinks though, staying in that corner. Here comes Triton. Some weapon-on-weapon action early on, and a big piece coming off early on. I believe it's part of Hijinks' bar spinner. Already, Hijinks has taken some damage to that undercutter. Not even 30 seconds into this match. Couple little jabs by Triton right under the tail of Hijinks. Probably alright as long as Triton doesn't strike any of those wheels on Hijinks. Some more little weapon-on-weapon taps here. Both robots kind of going easy, trying to pick their shots, place their shots right where they want them. It's a good strategy But right now, Hijinks currently the one being affected by damage so far in this match. So now some more weapon-on-weapon action, and both bots lost a wheel after a huge exchange right there. Hijinks clearly way more affected by that because Triton still has full mobility, while Hijinks has lost part of their mobility. That was part of the thing that lost them that fight against Mad Catter, and they're already on one leg. But now Triton a little off balance themselves. I think that bar also took some damage too, along with them losing one of those 4 wheels. As long as Triton doesn't get inverted here, they will still have full mobility, and they're looking to try to take advantage of that here against Hijinks. Some more weapon-on-weapon action while Triton's trying to go for that other tire, but Hijinks is not making that easy. They're using that bar very well to defend themselves here, and yeah, a couple close calls, and there goes that other wheel right there. I may have spoken way too soon when I talked about Hijinks doing well to protect that wheel, because now they are out of tires. Looks like this fight is probably going to belong to Triton as long as they hang back, but no, they're going in for more. Some more weapon-on-weapon action here. Triton's bar spinner, half what it was when it started this match, and they're still going in for more shots here. They want to try to go for the knockout, maybe. Try to go for like the control board KO. Hijinks has turned their bar spinner off, and right now they are motionless. I don't think anything's really going to save Hijinks in these last 40 seconds, including the clock. It is looking like Triton is going to secure 3rd place with this knockout, and that'll do it right there. So yeah, a pretty strategical fight between these two robots, but then early on, Hijinks started losing pieces of that spinner, showing that Triton was able to hold up to attacks better. Quite a few moments, including that shot right there, which I think really turned the tide into Triton's favor right there, where both bots lost a wheel, but it was way more critical for Hijinks than it was for Triton. We saw a lot of weapon-on-weapon action between these two robots, quite a lot of strategy between these two on where to place a lot of those shots, but it ended up benefiting Triton more than it did with Hijinks, because eventually Triton got to that last wheel, which disabled Hijinks for good, and secured Triton with a knockout, not just the knockout, but a spot in the last chance episode. But now we got one last fight to determine, and it is for a grand final spot in the tournament of this season, where we have Sosig and Mad Catter, 2 vertical spinners, one from Bugglebots and one from BattleBots. So Sosig has been coming off of a top 8 run last season, and so far 2-0 with a couple nightmare quick victories over robots such as Claw Viper, Duck, and then Triton in the last round, showing that vertical spinner is very effective, and whoever they're fighting definitely does not want to make contact with it. But Mad Catter's definitely no slouch themselves. 0-2 combined in the first 2 seasons, but then so far 3-0 this season, showing that that new vertical spinner design has proven to be very effective within that robot. They've gotten quite a few nice KOs themselves, including, as their wins so far include Sprocket Raccoon, Claw Viper, and Hijinks in the last round. So yeah, we got a battle of vertical spinners here, and I imagine both robots. I imagine the wedge game is going to be very, very important in a fight like this, and probably going to be these two robots' best strategy. Because I imagine whoever gets underneath the other starts winning these exchanges is probably going to be the one to come out on top in this one. So yeah, a lot is on the line for this one. The winner of this fight will be awarded an automatic spot in this season's grand final, while the losing robot will have an automatic spot in the last chance section of this tournament. I'm excited to find out who ends up coming out on top. Both bots have looked very good throughout this entire semifinal, as well as their opening round match, of course, and surely both of them absolutely deserve that spot in the grand final. So I'm excited for this. Let's get right to this fight. Time for this match to begin. Both bots spinning around, and Sosig catches Mad Catter at an angle and knocking pieces already off of that front. A little more weapon-on-weapon grinding between these two bots, and Mad Catter picked up and punted into the air a little bit. So, yeah. So now we got a little more weapon-on-weapon action, and it's Sosig continuing to win these early weapon-on-weapon exchanges. Huge shot, and what about Sosig, though? Sosig has lost that vertical spinner completely. So now Mad Catter, huge turn of events right here, because they are now the only one with a functional weapon. This is huge for that robot. So now Sosig has been reduced to a push bot right now, and Mad Catter's already gotten a couple shots into their own. But right now, they got a good pin though, and Mad Catter ain't moving though. A countdown on Mad Catter is coming. What has happened to that robot? Did they all of a sudden lost drive or something? I don't know what happened. And Mad Catter counted out, and they were high centered. Wow. So much to analyze in such a short fight between these two robots. It was hard to commentate that, but definitely lots of early head-on action between these two robots. It was primarily Sosig getting underneath Mad Catter, knocking off pieces and doing some damage to the front and the underside of Mad Catter. But then the tides eventually started turning into Mad Catter's favor right there. Because like it was this shot right here broke the entire vertical spinner on Sosig, leaving them without a weapon for the rest of the match. But they showed that they were not out yet. Managed to get a couple good pins on Mad Catter, including this one, that ended up high centering Mad Catter on a piece of their own debris, and left them motionless, and left Sosig with the KO and a grand final spot. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one then. Sosig is going to be awarded a spot in this season's grand final, while Mad Catter, Triton, and potentially Hijinks will all be awarded spots into the last chance section of this tournament. So yeah, great series of fights here. Definitely a shorter episode than most of the others have been so far. That's what happens when you have so many heavy-hitting spinners in the bracket. So yeah. So that's going to do it for this one. So we have now five grand finalists have been determined so far, with many more to come. Heat F will be starting next time, where we got several more great contenders who are going to make their debut, including another top 8 contender who definitely showed they are absolutely a destructive force of their own. So a lot more fun is sure on the way, and we're sure to see several more great rookies make their first appearance of the season, as well as some other veterans with potentially some upgrades returning for another season, looking to make it a few steps further than they did last time. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more fun, because there's certainly going to be a lot more fun on the way. We're 5 heats through. We've got many more to come, with many more great robots who are waiting to make their official debut on this channel. So thanks for watching once again, and I will see you all next time. Bye all!